What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Ignition. And this time we're going to be talking about the top 5 cheapest JDM sports cars for broke motherfuckers like you and I. Because listen, yeah. Now, some of you probably aren't even broke. You're just trying to be a little bit frugal. You're trying to save some of that P. Maybe you're trying to invest in that Ripple, that XRP, maybe that Ethereum, maybe some of that GMC, because I know some of you been on that, you f***ing nutcases. But anyway, first car that you're going to want to cop, alright, or first car on this list, which is in my opinion the best car on this list, alright, the Toyota MR2, okay, and I'm talking about the W20, okay, the W20, in my opinion, is the best shape, okay. You got the W10, which is the first model, the Mark 1 MR2, and I think it's kind of cool as well. It's a little bit like some Knight Rider type vibes out here, looking like Kit from Knight Rider. Type vibes, bruv. And then you got the SW30, which is f***ing garbage, alright? It looks disgusting. It's looking like a toenail, bruv. It's looking like a snail, bruv. It's looking like a squash snail, bruv. There ain't nobody gonna whip a flipping squash snail. And not only that, but they're slow as shit, bruv. Okay, they only got 132 brake, around that, something like that. I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but it's around that 132 brake. Dead! Okay, nobody's trying to whip that. But anyway, you got the SW20, which is it's like the fine medium, alright? Okay, it's like Toyota. They worked out the formula with this one, okay? Because there's 3 different models with this, okay? 3 different models with the Toyota MR2 SW20, okay, that you need to know about. So, of course, you've got the coupe version, which has only 138 brake horsepower. Dead! Okay, it doesn't even have the wing on the back. You don't want that. You do not want that one in your life, alright? Because that one's dead. So, forget that one, okay? What you're going to want to get is the GT Coupe or GT Coupe version of the Toyota MR2, alright? Now, this one has 168 brake horsepower, which is, it's not really all that. Fair enough. But you gotta realize, yeah, this is a light car. It's a light 2-seater, very minuscule, okay? It's not too small, because a big geezer like me can fit in it, you know what I'm saying? Toyota, they know how to make cars for bigger blokes like me, alright? I'm 6'4", I've got long legs, fam. People bully me, they're like, you know what, Cameron, you got some long legs, and your torso is extremely short. Like, what's going on? Why are you built like that? You're looking like flipping Gru from flipping, what's that? I don't even know what that movie's called, but anyway. And then, of course, you can get a one with the T-bar, the T-bar roof, which is like a Targa top, but with a little bar in between. So it's like 2 little flaps. It's looking like a gull wing, but without the wings. So yeah, if you get the one with the T-top, the T-bar, of course it's gonna come with a full leather interior. Everything's all black, everything's all spongy, and it's perfect for when you're picking up your fat gal, right? Because I know you've got fat girls out there. I know you like your heavy women, because you're not sick in the head, right? Very underrated car, and if you're broke and you want something sporty like this, then definitely go for it. Now I know what you guys are probably thinking about the Toyota MR2. What about the snap oversteer? What if I spin out? What if I crash into an oncoming car? What if I crash into a lorry? Okay, I'm not trying to get killed by an Amazon lorry, right? I'm not trying to get killed by a DHL, BHL lorry, or whatever they call them. I'm not trying to get killed by a milkman, bruv. That's the deadest way to die, right? Now, listen, if you're sensible, you should be alright, you should be all good, okay? Of course, when you're going into corners, you don't want to let off the throttle too much, or else it's going to unsettle the car, okay? If that happens, grab the wheel, get back on the throttle, and correct it, okay? It's as simple as that, but some people are not sensible. Some people will flipping break it and then spin out and die, and it's just peak for them, innit? It's peak for man alive. If you're sensible, definitely get one of these, okay? Because I'm considering to get one. I'm considering getting one of these and throwing that fat turbo in it. Of course, you have the turbo version of the MR2, which comes with 200 brake horsepower, okay? Now, that's probably like 187 wheel horsepower, probably less, probably more, I don't know. I don't know the calculations. I'll put the calculation right here somewhere right there. To be honest, 200 wheel horsepower or 200 brake horsepower on a car that small, that's gonna feel like you're in a flipping Lamborghini Huracan, Lamborghini Countach, right? You're gonna feel like Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button, Alonso, whatever the Don is called, Alonso, whatever, I don't know. I don't watch Formula 1 like you nerds, okay? Yeah, man, get yourself an MR2, nimble, cheap, affordable, and easy to model. And plus, Toyota engines are very robust, okay? Like, you can do a lot to them and they will just keep taking the abuse, okay? But seriously, name another car in this price range that is mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, and is under 5 grand, okay? Like, name another car in this price range. I'll wait, okay? Another Japanese car, that is. I know you can probably get a Boxster or something, but I'll wait right here, yeah? And for the next car on this list, we have the Nissan Fairlady Z Z33, okay, aka the 350Z, okay. Now you have 3 different versions of this, 3 different versions of the engine, okay. Let's talk about the engine first, because I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking these engines are dead, they sound like trumpets. Ain't nobody trying to drive a VQ, okay. Cap, VQs are sexy, they sound beautiful. I don't know where you're getting your information from, okay. Of course, you get the first version, alright, the original version, the OG version, the VQ35DE, okay. Now this one, from what I've heard, they're hard to modify, okay, hard to get a lot of power out of these, okay. Like, I've been looking for some turbos on these, and I'm seeing 5 to 10 grand that you have to spend to turbocharge these, and then on top of that, you're going to have to pay for the labour if you don't want to get your hands dirty, and that's a nutty life to live, right? Paying 10 grand on a car that's probably worth 4 grand, like, that's insane. People do it all the time, don't get me wrong, but that's insane. Like, if you're here, you're broke, okay, you're broke. Why would you spend 10 grand on a 4 grand car? Like, come on, mate. That's not really a good financial decision to make. But if you have the P and you really like this car and you're really passionate about it, go ahead. Go ahead. Because me personally, if I had the P, I'd probably do it because I kind of mess with this car. Like I mess with the way it sounds. I mess with the way it looks. The interior is decent, except for the plastic bits. The plastic bits are dead. Okay, like they're known for the paint to just chip off and for there to be like a lot of cracks and scratches all over the dashboard. It is ugly, okay, but when you look past all of that, it's actually a quality machine, all right? It's a quality 2-seater, and this is a little bit more bulkier, or a lot more bulky than the Toyota MR2 that I mentioned before, but that means you can fit some bigger things in the passenger seat, because I know some of you lot are sick in the head and you like your big things, all right? Now, of course, there is another version of the VQ35 that came out couple years afterwards, and this one is known as the rev up version. Now this is basically a more refined version of the VQ35DE, and it puts out 300 brake horsepower, whereas the original put out 287 brake horsepower, so you're getting 13 more horses out of the engine from this version. However, this one has caught a lot of flack for the fact that it sucks a lot of oil. Apparently a lot of things break and snap, and oil pumps just get deteriorated. That's what I've heard, alright? This engine is probably the worst out of all of them from, you know, just reviews and complaints. People are just like this ain't really reliable in comparison to the first one. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more power, but I'm spending a lot more money. Like, you're here to save money. It's sort of like buying a rotary engine. You know, if you find one that's well maintained and you maintain it yourself, service it right consistently, and just treat it like you treat your son, then you should be alright, right? I'm not trying to diss the car, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to diss it, but I'm just saying it is what it is. Critically, the best version is the VQ35HR, which stands for high revolution, alright? High revving car, my son, alright? This one revs up to 7.5k. Alright, 7.5k, whereas the other ones revved up for like 7k, so you get a little bit more power, a little bit more top end power out of this one. And these engines are a little bit more refined and a little bit more stronger than the previous ones, so that means you can actually turbocharge these and they won't blow up, okay? Like, the other ones were probably a little bit more prone to blowing up, but these ones, you can remap them, turbocharge them, do a pop and bang map if you're like one of those chavvy guys from Kent or just East London, I guess. And you can do all of that without having to worry about an engine exploding, alright? Of course, you're gonna have to get the right version, one that's doesn't have too high mileage, and one that's not been ragged all over the place, but it is definitely one to look for. And these ones are probably going to be a little bit more expensive, I'm not going to lie to you. I've been looking for the HR versions, and bloody hell, like, I'm seeing 8 grand, and that's just way out of our price range, right? We're cheapskates here, we're trying to save that piece, so you might have to settle for the VQ35D version, alright, and call it a day. Because I'm not going to lie, 287 brake horsepower, that's a decent amount of power, right? You can do some things with that, alright? If you take that to like some curvy B roads, you're going to have some fun, alright? If you're trying to do drag races, then you're going to have to put P's into it, I'm not going to lie. Unless you're trying to drag race against, I don't know, like a Golf GTI or something. And that's why you should consider getting yourself a 350Z Fairlady Z Z33. Now the next car on the list, I'm pretty sure you saw this one coming, is the Unos Roadster, aka the MX-5, aka the Miata, alright? I'm talking about the NA version, alright? Because the MB is decent, it's a decent one, I'm not going to lie to you. But everyone was going to want them pop up and down headlights, right? No one wants them flipping static little, just basic headlights that are just there, like, that's dead, there's no character. I'm joking, it's still a nice car, but pop up and down headlights are just that's just the way to go. Let's talk about performance on these, alright? Of course, these ones are very, very tiny. Okay, like if you're a big guy like me, 6'2", then you're gonna have a bad time in these. Okay, especially if you've got long legs. Okay, if you've got long legs, you're gonna get like a foamectomy. Is it foamectomy where they like take the foam out of the seat and then they make the seat a little bit lower so that long-legged people can lean a little bit back in the seat and their knees don't rub against the steering wheel, because knees rubbing against the steering wheel is dead, okay, especially for long journeys, okay. Like I already suffer from that from driving a Peugeot 206, which is a 5-door, okay. The seat's all the way back and my knees still sometimes touch the steering wheel, and it's a mad life to live, alright, having long legs. But anyway, now if you can get past the fact that these ones are notorious for being hairdresser cars, sort of like the BMW Z4s, then you'll Gucci, okay? Because obviously back in like 2000s, the early 2000s and like the 90s, if you were to drive one of these as a big man, you get violated. People would be like, you're some right? And people just violate you. But nowadays it's all good. It's all good because a lot of guys are getting them. A lot of guys are putting V6s in them, V8s in them, LS swaps, VQ swaps, K swaps, right? People are swapping the living crap out of it and doing some madnesses with these cars, and it makes it a little bit more manly, a little bit more acceptable for big men with testosterone flowing all around their body to cop one of these. Now, of course, there's 3 versions of the Unos Roadster that I'm going to talk about, okay? Now, of course, you have the 1990 to 1991 version, which puts out 114 brake horsepower. And 114 brake horsepower, I'm not gonna lie to you, not much, right? Like, given the circumstances of the car, given the condition of the car, which is, it's a light car, right? It's very light, it's low to the ground. You're gonna feel like you're going at like 200 miles per hour at every corner. Like when you're doing them, when you're hitting them apexes, hitting them chicanes on B roads, you're gonna be like, rah, like this is a bit nippy, like this is a bit nippy, like, and you're gonna be like, yeah, this is actually a nippy car. I don't really need that much power. I feel like if I had like 200 brake in it, I might flip out like a flipping pancake. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be shitting it, bruv. Now, of course, there's a facelifted version in 1994 to like what, 1995, which is the 128 brake horsepower version, alright? This one, a little bit more power, not that much power, but it's a little bit more and it's definitely noticeable. And of course, there's the last version, which has 133 brake horsepower, right? Now, these ones, I'm not gonna lie to you, still not much power, okay, but you got to realize that you can do a lot of swaps with these. You can get a K swap, you can get an LS swap, okay, you can do a VQ swap if you want to do so. Then go ahead, it's the SR20 swap. I've seen that being done. RB20 swap, RB25 swap, RB26 swap. You can do a whole lot with these, alright? If you're trying to build like a little sleeper, then this is probably the best route to go around because it's a feminine looking car, okay? You can't get around the fact that it's a feminine looking car. So when you put up next to like, I don't know, a Ferrari 458, and then they're like, I'm gonna smoke this guy, you're gonna be shooting in front of him, yeah? And he's gonna be like, what's going on, bruv? Like, am I in a dream, cuz? I just get gapped by a flipping Unos Roadster, Mazda Miata, MX-5 with a pop-up headlights. Come on, that's an old ding-dong for gal, right, for hairdressers. The next car on this list is the Honda Crx Del Sol. Okay, now, this one right here, very underrated, very underrated. I'm pretty sure some of you haven't even heard of the Crx Del Sol, right? I'm probably not even saying it right because I'm not a Spaniard. These ones right here, first front-wheel drive car on the list. I know what you're thinking, lads. Ugh, front-wheel drive. Yuck. What is that? That's not a sports car, that's dead. Right? That's not even a car, fam. It's front-wheel drive. Anything front-wheel drive is not a car. I know that's what you're thinking. Especially the US Dons, because US Dons, you don't have your Hellcats. You have the Ford Mustang GTs, the Shelby GT500s. Right? You've got the Hemi V8s, the Chevy Camaros. You have all of that, okay? And then all of a sudden, you got some British dude recommending some front-wheel drive sports car, and you're like, ugh, bro, that's dead, bro. You ain't trying to whip none of that. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out, lads. Hear me out, lads. I think it's still damn cool. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a pretty cool looking car. You can do some nice modifications to it. And you gotta remember, it's a Honda. Honda engines and Hondas in general, they just take beatings and they keep going, lads. They keep going. All right. You're gonna want to get yourself one of these if you want something reliable. If you want a daily, get yourself one of these. All right. Now, of course, it is a smaller vehicle, so you can't really fit much shopping in there. You can't fit your baby mother's shopping in there, your baby mother's nappies in there. But I'll tell you what, mate, it is light and it's still nippy. All right, because it's a low to the ground whip. Okay. Of course, it is a poor man's S2K, but whatever. it does the job. It's got that VTEC, and that's all that matters, mate. Now, of course, you can modify the living hell out of these, throw a turbo on that motherfucker, get a flipping catback exhaust system, or a turbo back if you've got a turbo on that motherfucker. Maybe you want to get a high flow cat. You can do whatever you want with this, alright? It's mad. Now, depending on the model year, these cars come with 125 to 158 brake horsepower. 158 brake horsepower on this little machine, mate. That is nuts. And imagine when you whack a turbo on that. That combined with the VTEC kicking in, bruh, you're gonna be smoking every living object on the motherfucking road, right? You're gonna be looking like Vin Diesel. But without the diesel, bruv, you're gonna be looking like Vin Vegan, fam. Like, it's a mad car. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it does look a bit odd. It's a bit of an odd looking car, but me personally, I think it's kind of cool. I think you should definitely get one of these if you're looking for a affordable sports car, okay? It is front wheel drive, but if you can get past that, then yeah, man, it's definitely one to consider. Now, last but not least, we have the Toyota Celica GTs, alright? Now I'm talking about the 1994 to 2000 models, those ones. I'm not talking about the newer ones that look like fake Lamborghinis, fake Ferraris, right? They look disgusting, and the back off on those are so dead, alright? You don't want any of those anyway. And I'm not going to be talking about the compacts, like sort of standard versions, okay, that have like 114 brake horsepower, because those are dead. Okay, 114 brake, what are you going to do with that, huh? What are you going to do with that engine? That's dead. Right? I'm going to talk about the 168 brake horsepower version. I know what you're saying, mate. 168 brake, dead. Okay, but listen, you're here cheaping out, mate. You want something under the price of $5 grand, okay? And I'm giving you options, my son. And like I said before, these are Toyotas, okay? They're very sturdy, they're very rigid. And I'm not gonna lie, these ones look pretty cool, okay? And you have the extra P, go and get yourself a Toyota Celica Gt4, okay? The 4 obviously stands for 4-wheel drive, okay? 4-wheel drive, and it puts out 239 brake, okay? 239 brake. That is a huge step up from the GT, of course, because obviously it's 4-wheel drive over front-wheel drive, and everyone knows 4-wheel drive is very superior, okay? Like, that's the launches on that are gonna be insane. You probably get like what, 6.9, I believe, 0 to 60 on those. The acceleration is insane for a Toyota Celica, right? People are gonna look at the Toyota Celica and be like, yuck, front-wheel drive, piece of garbage. But when you're in the GT4, no. But obviously the GT4, that's going to be a lot more expensive, okay, because for starters, I'd say they're pretty rare. I haven't seen one ever in my life, okay? I've only seen the standard, like, Toyota Celica GTs. Now, we're going to be talking about the GT ones, okay, because obviously those ones are too expensive for you guys. They're way out of the price range, okay? Now, if you find one for $5 grand, lucky you, but GTs are the way to go, my ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, you can throw a little turbo on that and probably get that shit to around, I don't know, like 250 brake horsepower to the front wheels. Of course, you're going to get some Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, because you're going to be ripping through those tyres with all that power, okay, with all that torque, with all that intensity to the front wheels. Now, these ones are they're not pretty, they're not small like the other cars that I've mentioned, okay? So you can actually pick up some pretty fat things. They may be sports cars, but they have 2 extra seats in the back, okay? So you can put your shopping in there, and a very small human being can fit in the back too, because 2 doors, they're not really the best for multiple people driving in there, right? Like, the back seats are a no-go, okay? If you're above the height of like 5'5" or above the height of 5 foot, yeah, you're gonna have some time struggling in the back. So in terms of traveling with people, it's not the most practical, but at the end of the day, you're looking for a sports car, okay? So why are you gonna care about practicality? The only thing you care about is how fun it is to drive and how cool it is. But these Toyota Celicas right here, they're future classics, so you should definitely invest in them now, because in the future, I do see the prices of these going up a bit, the value of these going up a bit, so it would be very clever for you to get one of these. Same with the other cars as well. All of these cars right here, all of the cars that I've mentioned before, like, they're going to be future classics, okay? Like, most definitely. So definitely get your hands on these as soon as possible, especially the Toyota ML2, right? Because the SW20s, those ones right there, oh my days, I'm telling you, like, the next 10 years, they're going to be worth around anywhere between 5 to 10 grand, and I'm telling you that for free. Okay, so get your hands on those, cherish it, take care of it, and have fun driving, lads, and take care. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, because we're broke out here. We need that P, and you need to support us, you know what I'm saying? You need to support us. You're out here supporting your gals, OnlyFans. We're not going to support one of the homies, one of the brothers, one of the guys. Another king out here trying to get that bread. So make sure you take care and have a nice day.